I've spent much of my career studying Islamist terrorist cells operating in the UK and how they have persuaded hundreds of young men to travel far away from home and take up arms or launch attacks against the very societies in which they were born.
As the battles rage in Syria and Iraq, much is being made of ISIS' recent retreat. The caliphate may be crumbling and the jihadists losing ground, but in cyberspace they are advancing.
We're now in a new era of warfare, where a string of tweets has the power to trigger deadly attack at the very heart of our democracy. Barely 6 months ago, Parliament was forced into lockdown by a man initially described as a lone wolf terrorist. Armed with just a knife and a rented car, 52-year-old Muslim convert Khalid Masood killed 5 people and injured 50 before he was finally shot dead by the police. Precisely what compelled Masood to launch one of the UK's worst terrorist atrocities is still unknown. Investigations by security services are ongoing. But we have uncovered evidence that agents of the so-called Islamic State were plotting a near-identical terrorist attack using secret messaging services. For over 2 years, our undercover journalists have been posing as fictional characters committed to jihad. Via social media and secretive messaging sites, they have been in near constant communication with senior players in ISIS. In July 2016, we discovered that the terrorist organization was touting on Twitter and Facebook for British Muslims to stage attacks at specific London locations. We began conversing with one of their recruiters, who then invited us to chat privately on a secret messaging site. The authorities were fully aware of our contact with the terrorist organization.
I managed to track down an IS recruiter online. His name was Manager, and we always spoke on encrypted messaging services. I told him that I was 17 years old and living with my parents. After a few weeks chatting to Manager, it became clear that he was trying to groom me into doing an attack on UK soil. And one day, he just started talking about targets.